Hello and welcome to the Key Changes Music and Mental Health podcast, brought to you by Key Changes, positive mental health through music, a charity promoting recovery and well-being through music and mentoring programs in hospitals and communities for people experiencing mental health difficulties. Hosted by myself, Katie Neal, and the incredible rapper and singer-songwriter Stuart, aka Psychosis 0161. Today we're going to have another insightful and interesting dive into the world of mental health and music.
We'd love to kick off the show with another fantastically talented Key Changes artist, Kayla Amore, with the track Slow Down.
I'm here to let you know you'll do so much more when you slow down, slow down. I've been contemplating where I'm going and all I've done. Whoa, they say, baby, don't you worry, ooh, 'cause God only knows your path. Slow down, let the world go by. We can have it all right here and right now, or in the blink of an eye. You can miss your water when your well runs dry. What are you running from? You can have so much more when you slow down. Slow down, slow down. Stop and sit for a while. Kick up your shoes, yeah, let yourself smile. For no good reason at all. You're dead there trying to play by the rules. Well, I'm here to let you know you'll do so much more when you slow down. Slow down, slow down. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba.
Wow, I absolutely adored that. I know we say it all the time, but it was really cool.
Yeah. We were saying as it was playing, weren't we? It kind of reminded me of like Lauryn Hill from the Fugees.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That kind of R&B, neo-soul element and like the jazzy instrumentals in the background were the perfect blend, I thought.
I wish radio stations would play more more artist music rather than the same people over and over again a bit more.
Yeah, no, I think that would sell really, really well on the radio. Can you imagine like going to work or something and use that on? That would be set the mood perfectly. And the lyrics are great. Slow down. Sometimes we all need to do that, which kind of fits perfectly with today.
So, in a world that moves fast and demands more, mindfulness invites us to slow down and tune in. Today we're exploring how mindfulness, practice of being present and aware, intersects with music, creativity and mental health, whether it's through intentional listening, meditative songwriting or simply breathing between beats. Mindfulness can be a powerful tool for emotional balance and artistic clarity.
Mindfulness helps artists manage stress, reduce anxiety, and reconnect with their creative instincts. For musicians, it can sharpen focus in the studio, ease performance pressure, and deepen emotional expression. By staying present, we not only improve our mental well-being, but we create more honest, resonant art. This episode unpacks how mindfulness isn't just a wellness trend, it's a creative superpower.
So, where to begin?
I know.
What is mindfulness? Could you try and describe it?
That's a really good question. I think mindful practices as a whole can be defined in different ways, but they're activities or ways in engaging with the present moment and just kind of taking that step back, taking quite literally a deep breath and taking a pause. Because I feel like we live very much in a world that is very, the hustle culture. We're very taught to be motivated, which of course is so important in terms of motivation has strong links to positive mental health. But equally, sometimes when we're almost overly motivated, that can also have problems. We actually can result in feeling burnt out and not taking time to actually relax, which in the long run can affect our health. So it's about finding that balance and being able to celebrate rest and like mental clarity. Now, I can't deny, I remember when I was back at school, we had our head of year when I was about 13, 14, wanted us to do mindfulness every morning. Yeah. I was so energetic at that age. I thought it was ridiculous. I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and wind everyone up. Now I have matured, and since learning more about myself and my mind and other people's selves and minds, I've realized how vital it is to really take a moment to pause. So yeah, what about you, Stuart? Where does it fit in for you?
Yeah, I think it's interesting straight away that you mentioned from a young age and your teacher talking about mindfulness. I was thinking quite a lot like how, like you said, when we get older, we become more insightful and we understand things better and stuff. And I think I saw a thing about like when we were younger, well, me, we only had the television and now everybody's got their phones. So it's 24/7.
Stimulation,
go, 24/7. So I feel sorry for the children of this day and age, really, because they need more time to be mindful and be present in the moment. And there's quite a lot of stimulation and stuff, isn't there, constantly?
Yeah, and it can be quite hard to separate yourself from that outside world. Like, when people go home from work and school or whatever, 20 years ago, they would go back and then they could call, they could just be, whereas now everything follows you home. All your emails are still there, or all your friends are still on social media. And it means that you kind of almost always stimulated and always connected. And sometimes it's really important to, be connected, but also check in with yourself, which I think is harder to do in this day and age.
Do you know what popped into my mind at the minute as well? Like, I remember when I was in hospital one time for a month, and it's kind of like you're checking out of the world for a little bit while you try and sort your head out. And they had nurses who did like mindfulness drawing in that.
Yeah.
And like you said at first, I thought, oh, this is silly. It's not going to work. What's the point? You know what I mean? And all that. But sit there around a table for 20 minutes colouring a picture and stuff like that. And then I'd love to be able to remember some of the ladies' names who worked on the ward to give them a shout out. But I remember a lady used to go and take us into like this relaxing room.
Okay.
And we'd lie there and she'd read like meditative stories and just have like a complete break from your thoughts and that for half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. Like, so maybe if we were all millionaires and we didn't have to work all the time and have so busy lives, I wish I could incorporate that into my life more.
Yeah.
It just made me realise as we're talking now, like that was I got a lot out of that.
How did it make you feel like coming out the other side of that 45-minute session or however long? What did you notice was different?
Just not thinking about all the madness, what goes on inside my head. Like
peace.
Yeah. Like some of the stories would be like, you just pretend you float. It's practicing mindfulness, isn't it? Like, so you sit there thinking you're on a cloud, you lay there, you can hear the wind swaying or the beat. It's about living in that moment and giving your brain a break from the chaoticness of life.
Yeah.
Apart from the school one, have you got any like mindfulness?
Yeah, definitely. I think something you just said there was really interesting to me about how, you know, with work and other responsibilities, we kind of don't put it into our everyday life anymore. We don't prioritize it, except for, I remember when I was in my final year of uni, I was so busy. Like, I filled my days with obviously actual work, but then equally like every club I could have joined, I joined. And that's very me to do that, because I just get excitable, but equally I knew that it was going to tire me out. And I remember a friend of mine like introduced me to yoga, and she was like, look, come to the yoga society with me. And so it actually clashed with like slightly with like half an hour of a rehearsal that I was meant to go to. But I spoke to the guy that led the rehearsal and said, look, we normally spend half an hour setting up. Do you mind if I turn up a little bit late, but zen and ready to go? Yeah. And I was so glad I did that. And he said yes, because if I'd have just kept running and kept going from one thing to the next, I would have crashed so much sooner. Whereas having that yoga, and what I really liked about it, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't particularly good at it. I'm not very flexible. Can't touch my toes. But anything that I was worried about outside of those four walls, I couldn't do anything about. So it was kind of quite great to just be like, the only thing I can do right now is stretch. And that took so much pressure off me feeling like I needed to solve that problem with my housemate or that stressful piece of work. I couldn't do anything about it now, so there's no point worrying about it.
Yeah.
And I think it really reframed things. So yeah, I guess, if I'm honest, unfortunately, and there's a whole conversation, I started doing yoga again a year ago, but then I couldn't afford it anymore. So I would love to be able to get back into it. Yeah, again, I could probably do it in my own house, but it's discipline, isn't it, actually? And I think that's a massive thing with mindfulness. It's like, are you going to choose to do it, or are you going to choose to not? And I think it can be really easy to not, which is a shame because we don't reap the benefits that way.
Yeah, so taking it a bit musically, like talking about mindfulness.
Yeah.
And we've talked, it's a bit similar to escapism, what we've mentioned in the past.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely for me, when I'm writing music, I'm mindful and I'm in the moment and I'm thinking about only the music. I'm not thinking, and I'm in the present, I'm living in the present moment, and nothing else is, I might be thinking about world events that are affecting the lyrics I'm writing and stuff, but I'm in the present moment of...
It's just you and the music.
Yeah, being mindful.
Definitely. I think that's, and I think it can be really good sometimes to like check in, especially with songwriting. Like you said, we've talked about it a bit before about how it can be quite good at releasing emotions and allowing you to like have an outlet. Because sometimes I like to, and I don't do it as often as I should maybe, but like if I'm really stressed or if I'm noticing myself getting a bit more stressed and I'm not checking in, I'm just like going to the next thing, I'll like sit and journal and I'll just like blurt out, like type out. I like to type it rather than handwrite it personally. And then everything that I'm feeling like, oh, I'm actually really annoyed about this, or I'm really stressed about this. And then I've got it out and then I can delete it. But sometimes I can turn that into music. You know, I can actually, it's almost like therapy for myself. I use that word lightly, obviously, but therapeutic. Because I sit and I have a release and then I'm only sat with that in that moment there. And it's quite mindful in its own way, I think. So yeah. Two pieces of, well, they're kind of two in one, pieces of advice that I've been given over the years, when you're like running on 100 miles an hour, is that mindfulness doesn't have to be 40 minutes of meditation. It can be when you put the kettle on to have your afternoon brew while you're doing jobs. How am I feeling? Okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to take a few deep breaths. And then my dad once heard on the radio, I think, about someone saying about how you should change your socks, not because you have smelly feet, but because it gets you, if you've got a time in the middle of the day that's like, oh, it's change my socks time. It's the same thing. As you're putting your socks on, you think, right, how am I feeling right now? Cool, good. Second sock goes on. okay, what can I do to feel better about that? Take some deep breaths and move through. That's what, 3 minutes, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
And if you do that regularly enough, it builds up. Because I think people get worried about mindfulness taking up too much time or not having the attention span for it. I think that's what I struggle with. But you can practice mindfulness in smaller ways.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So again, as a musician myself, I actually was in London recently.
Yeah, you were.
With Key Changes, which was phenomenal. But I'll be honest with you, my anxiety was really bad. The travelling, worrying about this, that, everything.
Yeah.
What's
Lot to
good,
think about.
blah, 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 you know what I mean? But I remember being sat there in the audience and I had a bit of a mindful moment. I just said to myself, like, this is just a little moment in your life. Like, it's not, you're just there, you're in the moment. And I had a conversation with myself in my head. I was like, you enjoy doing this, go and do it. Go and enjoy it. Show people your passion for your music and stuff like that, rather than think, oh my God, what happens if it...
Yeah.
And another thing I want to say to everyone, I know people say it about messing up and that, but it don't really matter even if you do.
No. And I think by practicing that compassion before you go on means that you will be kinder to yourself if you make a mistake as well. Yeah. If you go in there putting like so much pressure on yourself to do it perfectly, then you're going to come out the other side picking out things. Whereas if you go in there being like, look, it doesn't matter, everything's going to be fine, then you're going to come out with that clarity and that compassion a little bit clearer, I think.
Yeah, I've heard also like certain songs can make you mindful.
I was just going to ask you about this. That's so mad. Yeah. So
is there any songs that you like turn to where you have a moment of mindfulness? What?
That's so interesting. I think there are different ones for different reasons, but I have a chill playlist.
Yeah.
That I think when we talked about sleep in a previous episode, I may have mentioned it, or at least it reminded me of it. I put that on sometimes to help me sleep, but equally I sometimes just put it on when I just need something mellow to check in with. And it's not dissimilar to the sort of music you hear in spas, that sort of thing. And there's a reason, a lot of them have got lower BPM to lower your heart rate. They've got relaxing nature sounds you might be able to hear today that it is raining in Manchester. All those sort of things within music make me feel quite mindful. And I think it's because they're not taking up too much sonic space. They're just kind of allowing me to reflect because they're like almost like filter into the background a little bit. What about yourself?
The first song what springs to mind is that, I don't know who it's by, but that Don't Worry.
Oh, yeah.
Be happy. Yeah, just little things like that. Sometimes I think, yeah, he's right. Do you know what I mean? What are you worrying about all this stuff for?
Yeah, no, so true. And it just says exactly what it means to say. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that, does it? Yeah.
But it is hard sometimes. Like, obviously, when people are struggling with their mental health, it's not as easy as just going, oh, yeah, put that song on and all your problems will go away. But for that 3 to 5 minutes, however long it is, you might come out of it a little bit, have a mindful moment of, I'm just listening to the lyrics and getting with it.
Yeah, if you have intention to, sit back and be like, I want to engage with this music. But you said about mindful drawing earlier. I've done stuff at uni when I did like a community music group, and now with my teaching, I often, if a student comes to me with quite a lot of raised anxiety that lesson, I'll just say, look, you pick the music and we'll draw, and we'll just do something together. And they always say that it makes them kind of forget about everything that's made them anxious that day. So yeah, the song itself might not have fixed everything, but it does give them space to connect with the medium, I think.
It's funny you mention that as well, because I'm going to mention my son as well, like I do quite a lot.
As you should. It's lovely.
So sometimes I admit it, I'll be on my phone now and again, and he'll go, Dad, put your phone down. And then, but we got canvases and oil paints and that for his birthday and stuff like that. So I'll turn the radio on. He'll turn, I don't like him being on his tablet anyway, but he does go on it like all kids these days.
Yeah.
But we'll get the canvases out, we'll have the radio on, and I'm sat there with him, And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, these are like the best moments in life. Like, look, it's just me and him here. We're colouring these pictures. All you're thinking about is like art and
What colours you're going to use.
yeah. Like, I mean, we have the radio on. We sat there together and he's going, what's that bit, Dad? And I'm like going, what's that? Oh, right. And
Oh, I love that. That's so lovely.
so I probably learned that at the hospital
Yeah.
from colouring pictures. So,
You knew it worked for you, so it's good to like pass it on.
and we was talking before about the fast pace of life at the minute, and doing that stuff like that, it's so relaxing. It really is.
Yeah. I actually do a paint by numbers as well. Like I'm very average at art. I don't think I'm horrendous, but I don't think I'm any good at all. And I couldn't concentrate back at school in art. I just could never sit still. Whereas I think it might have been like over lockdown. I just didn't want to be on a screen all day because that was what we were doing. And I was spending hours and hours on a screen. And I just ordered a paint by numbers kit from Amazon. And my mum had said that I just sat there for like hours on end. And I said it was so... There have been stressful times in my life during that period that I remember being completely separated from at the time that I was painting. And it was so rewarding. And so now I try and have a regular one on the go. And granted, life gets in the way. It gets, you get busy. But I've still got one on my lounge floor at the moment that every time I walk past, I'm like, I'm going to do that. And you know what? I think I might do it tonight.
Yeah, it's funny you've just said that, because I was thinking as you was talking, like, making myself sound like I'm this perfectionist of mindfulness. I've realised I need to do more with this.
I think the stereotype of someone that practices mindfulness or meditation is because I guess back in the days it was very much linked to spirituality, and that is its origins 100%. But mindfulness, you've got to realise, is going to develop with the modern world. So as long as you find a way that is mindful, that allows you to be present, to check in with yourself, it doesn't matter what it is, it could be different from what a friend works for them, so it's easier said than done to practice it and to put it into your daily routine. But I think that if you know it works, it's worth continuing with it.
Yeah, so let's try and incorporate that a bit more into our lives. And
I think we should hold each other accountable for it.
Yeah. And all our listeners out there, I hope this little chat's been a bit beneficial and maybe help people find a bit about mindfulness.
Yeah, and find their own activities that work for them. Now, we're going to check in with our guests very soon about what they think about mindfulness, but also their journey with Key Changes. We're going to share one of their songs. So this is DJ Muddy with Lilac and Blue, and we'll be back very soon to check in with him.
When I call you up, you say I knew it was you. I say I knew it was true since the first time. When I saw you dancing in lilac and blue, I know nothing, your carnival mind daddy. Satellite, star, got a feeling inside me like dynamite. Look in your eye, look in your eye. When I call you up, you say been thinking of you. I say I think of you, darling, so fondly. Since I saw you dancing in lilac and blue, I know nothing, your carnival mind daddy. Satellite, star, got a feeling inside me like dynamite. Look in your eye, look in your eye. Satellite, star, got a feeling inside me
was sick. Yeah, again, I know we always say it, but Key Changes is fostering some incredible artists.
Yeah, I think we need to have like some direct communication with some radio stations, some kind of collaboration that just plays.
Just purely Key Changes records. Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you so much. Hello, DJ Muddy, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
We can, perfectly. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Still buzzing from the show yesterday.
Yeah, we heard that you were one of the performers as well. That is super. Did you have a good time?
I didn't do as much rehearsal as I probably should have done. Like, I've been playing with an FLX4 unit and doing digital DJing quite a lot this week.
Oh, cool.
So,
I saw you live yesterday and I thought you absolutely smashed it as a bonus.
good song.
Yeah, it was a great song. And as a bonus, you got the crowd going and all that, which is a skill in itself.
They needed warming up. Like, when I first started Key Changes, there was a guy called Toby who came and did quite a lot of mentoring and sort of A&E sessions on people's tracks and stuff. And he said there's a really good trick if you've got the crowd and they're not sort of too interested, just to say, I'm not going to start the next song until the crowd is all gathered towards the front of the stage so that we can have a proper show.
Yeah, that's quite good actually, because it like so is either there in control. Like I'm only going to do this if you're going to give me the energy I'm looking for.
Completely right. Yeah, it's a two-way thing.
Yeah, it is. It's all about the connection, but from both sides, isn't it?
I know it's interesting talking about mindfulness and going on stage because, like, I guess for a lot of us, it's something that we've practiced a lot going on stage, and it's quite a mindful experience, really.
Yeah. Do you want to expand on that? What makes you say it's mindful?
Because you're not really so attached to the real world anymore. You're just there performing your track to an audience.
So true. Yeah. It's just you and the people there and that
And in a
moment.
way, it's really stressful. Like, when I was doing stand-up comedy, I was lucky enough to perform at the Comedy Store and do a tour to Estonia.
Wow.
They taught us very much that nerves are a whole intrinsic part of going on stage.
Yeah.
You know, things you can do like power postures and like exercises that increase your left-right use of brain activity.
Yeah, we have heard of them before. I'm sure it might have been you who mentioned it on the Wellbeing Zoom one time about. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So it's all about building that confidence with your like stature sort of thing.
I'm not sure. It's about sort of stunning yourself into the sense of realization that you're going to do it.
Ah, yeah. I think that's so important. Quite literally faking it till you make it. Like building up your confidence so that you then believe in yourself. I like that a lot.
Well, I believe in the sort of zen of a football game as well. I started football again on Wednesdays. And like when you're in the middle of a game, you do forget about the rest of the world and then focus on the here and now.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned like football and music and stuff. Like when you're on stage sometimes, if you're not using the mindfulness techniques of living in the present, you've got more chance of making a mistake, can't you? If your mind wanders and you're thinking about other stuff, not what you're doing at that moment.
Yeah, I guess the word for me is zen.
Yeah.
You know, that balance of relaxation and concentration that you find the point of to operate at.
Yeah, it's like that. There's a researcher who invented the term the flow state, which people use to talk about creative practice and sports as well, where you're so, like you said, it's the point of concentration and relaxation that hit that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And I think you guys have both perfectly kind of encapsulated that. And in itself, that is mindful because the only thing you're thinking about right then and there is your performance, whether that be on a pitch or whether that be on a stage.
Yeah.
Call it the flow state, Katie.
The flow state.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, have a look into it.
So, Muddy, I'm sure you do write a hell of a lot of music, don't you?
I write to relax. I like to DJing quite a lot. So it's actually changed the way I write because I'm writing beats that I can mix in.
All right.
Ah.
You just kind of took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, how has your mindfulness influenced your approach to songwriting or performing?
Oh, well, that's really interesting because I use it as a kind of meditation, you know, firing up either reason or logic, which are the programs I use. You know, there's a whole load of steps before you really get anywhere where you're just pressing buttons and, you know, setting it up to play a little phrase on the keyboard or something, you know, like it's a beautifully relaxing thing to do.
Yeah.
Quite privileged to have the system at home to be able to just work like that.
Yeah,
You know?
true.
I think the stuff I produce with Key Changes has shown me a lot more what I can do and shown me the limits of what I'm capable of. But at the same time, that mindful state of just sort of creating is like, for me, a brilliant way of passing the time when I've got a day off and I can just sort of throw a few hours at it.
Yeah, no, of course. And it's so good that, like, as we know, as musicians, like, having a hobby that you're so passionate about is such a blessing. I think it's so great to be able to spend that time doing something that you love.
What's it they say? Expression is the antidote to depression.
Ah, I like that. I can see that.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that one.
Yeah, I feel like I want that on a poster. Do you know what I mean?
Be a multimillionaire if you
Yeah,
get on
that one.
patented, whatever it's called.
Yeah. If you don't mind us asking, we always like to explore, obviously, people's connections with Key Changes and how it came about. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your mental health journey and how you then began to work with Key Changes and how that's intertwined?
Well, I was studying at Cambridge University
Wow.
and started having a few problems and spent a couple of weeks at the Florence Nightingale Hospital in London and degraded for a year. And through the process of doing one-to-one lessons at a cranberry in High Street, Kensington, and taking my risperidone, I got back into Cambridge and did a final year.
Wow.
But I was really unpopular with most people at the institution for one reason or another. And my mental health sort of deteriorated. And in 2004, my dad got me sectioned for the first time. I was sectioned maybe 20 times overall through years of literally not quite knowing what was going on quite a lot of different drugs and trying to find a level.
Mm-hmm.
Diagnosed hypodisinhibited to start with and then bipolar affective disorder. But in 2021, they diagnosed me schizoaffective disorder and started treating me with flupentixol decanoate. I haven't had a breakdown for 4 years, almost 5.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
I was a bit low for a while, but I've really kind of come back into my own. I got a new flat, got it all set up, got Sky TV and my FLX4 machine. Like, it's just like non-stop fun for me at the moment.
Oh,
And-
wonderful.
Over that period, that must have been a really tough period for you to go through. How did you find Key Changes during that period?
I was recommended to them by a social worker. 12-week course working with mostly Zaflon, a guy called Dan Clark, who's a really good producer. Has done some Tara Tellboy records that he's really proud of.
We'll be hearing from Tara Tellboy later on in the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, respect to him because he's really come on leaps and bounds for Key Changes. Like,
Yeah.
he's a changed person, like literally. Like, I think I've changed over this last couple of years and really blossomed a little bit myself. Like, working with Dan and then the track you heard I made with a guy called Jasper Wilde,
Okay.
who's French. And I think the French music is brilliant. I've got lots of French records I play.
Really?
Oh, awesome.
I speak a little bit of French. Je
Yeah.
parle français, hein?
Oh.
Des raisons pour raiser le bois.
D'accord. I speak very French. I used to speak a lot better French than I do now. But I love French culture and French music. It's possibly like, it's so much inspiration for me as well. So I definitely relate to that.
Yeah. Since then, Key Changes has been basically just sort of 1 hour taster sessions mostly. I think I've done 2 or 3 3-session courses.
Okay, yeah.
And we've produced maybe, 5, 10 songs that are really worth listening to.
And if there was anybody out there listening to the power of Key Changes, could you try and describe how much it's like changed and helped you?
As a student of music, you hear a lot of voices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Peter Lee, who runs Key Changes, is like this guru to me
Yeah.
who does know what's going on
Yeah.
and give you good advice and drip feed nuggets into the conversation like a good coach. Like I learned when I was doing the FA Paul Corner model, which is well worth talking about actually, if you're interested.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's the principle of physical, social, psychological, and technical progression,
Mm-hmm.
all achieved through playing games which mirror the intensity of football. Gets players to improve about doing any more than just playing the games, you know?
Oh, wow. How interesting.
Little bits of advice that you can use MP3s these days and it's just as good quality as a WAV file.
Yeah.
Little things like that are worth knowing.
Yeah. Because you can add that to your like knowledge overall of music.
Completely. And I'd say key changes to the community. Like we're talking today, they brought us together to have a little conversation. And I've got a lot out of it. I don't know if you two have enjoyed talking to me.
100%. It's been, honestly, you're so eloquent and it's so interesting to hear both your story and your outlook on the topics we talked about today and on music as a whole. It's really interesting.
I think everyone who works with Key Changes kind of feels that family community vibe of we're all lifting each other up and supporting each other and just helping each other with our well-being, music, everything along those lines.
Everyone's very supportive. I think I've come at it from a different angle because I didn't go through the artist program, but from what I've worked with people, and everyone's always got a lovely thing to say. You know, I've never witnessed any rivalry or competition, which can be rife in the industry. I think it's a lot of people recognizing, you know, that there's been tough times, but we've got a creative passion that brings everyone together.
I don't know. I'd say I've seen a little bit of competition between various acts trying to outdo each other at various events. I'd say whenever you go to a Key Changes show, there'll be someone who comes along who does something that's a bit different from everyone else. You just go, wow, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of Key Changes. Like the show at London, Tara Telboy, the host, was on the stage and he said, it's so enlightening that you never know what you're going to get. 1 minute you've got rappers, then you've got love songs, then you've got R&B, then you've got spoken word. You never know what you're going to get. It's incredible.
Completely. And it just puts everyone into their little box again, you know?
Yeah.
We do our thing and like it's highly likely that none of us are ever really going to make it in the music industry. Records are written by teams of people who are paid big money to do exactly that and launch a mainstream artist another big song. And it's a multi-thousand-pound operation putting a single together, even in the planning stage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100% I get you.
But this is what I told Alfie yesterday. I thought his lyrics had a sort of working class edge that sounded like it was one person writing about life rather than 4 people having a brainstorming session about how to wind up teenagers. Do you know what I mean?
Felt like an honest reflection.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought music has a message, if you're lucky. That's what we all try and deliver. That's what I try and deliver. I try and deliver a message in my music. Like, yes, slipped in the line and we're on a mission to Mars. A bit of history from a future perspective in that we've reached the moon, but we haven't got to Mars yet. So we're on a mission to Mars.
I like that. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Moving forward, like, have you got anything exciting that you're looking forward to in the future?
I've got my second DJ lesson on Tuesday.
Cool.
I should have my tunes formatted on 2 USB sticks ready to fit into CDJs in a club.
That'd be really cool. Are you wanting to go more down that route at the moment than DJing? Have you found a new love?
Last night, I mixed vinyls. I just bought a copy of the Haim album with Want You Back on it as the first song.
Nice.
Wow.
And I mixed in Beyonce, Crazy in Love, Legos, Printemps Music dub.
Oh, I bet that goes hard. That's so cool.
It's just brilliant.
There's something so nostalgic about buying vinyls.
Yeah.
It's really nice to have bits of my digital mix as vinyls because actually a lot of my best inspiration happens when I'm mixing vinyls together. And I'm not sure it would happen if I just had the digital copies and I was trying stuff out.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. That's a world of music that I really want to be able to explore more of, I think. Well, thank you so much, Muddy. You've given us some incredible insight today. It's been fascinating to chat to you.
And thank you, Stuart, as well. It was really nice to see you yesterday, mate.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
See, it shows it's a lovely thing that everyone gets to come together. Like, I think that's excellent. So, overall, today's episode explored the powerful connection between mindfulness, music, and mental health. We discussed how being present, whether through songwriting, performing, or listening, can help artists regulate emotions, reduce anxiety, and deepen creative expression. Music becomes a therapeutic space where vulnerability meets clarity, and mindfulness acts as a tool to stay grounded, emotionally honest, and creatively focused. Whether through breathwork, intentional listening, or mindful routines, we highlighted how this practice can support both artistic growth and emotional well-being.
Thank you to our guest today, Muddy, who offered his own insights and practical tips, adding even more depth to the discussion. We hope our personal views in today's episode have been useful and added clarity to the use of mindfulness to help improve mental well-being and how to use those tools to stay grounded as a musician.
Yeah, thank you so much to Muddy, and of course, thank you to you, Stuart. Couldn't do without you.
And thank you to you, Katie.
And also thank you so much for Key Changes, for all the hard work they do in hospitals, in the community, and spreading the joy of music, and of course, allowing this podcast to operate in the way that it does.
If you're intrigued to find out more about Key Changes, head over to our website, keychanges.org.uk. You can also find us on Instagram at keychangesmusic for further updates.
If you would like to suggest a topic for us to cover in the future, we would love to hear from you, our listeners. So email us at info@keychanges.org.uk.
And always remember, you do not have to go through a mental health crisis alone. Help is out there, hope is out there. You can speak to your GP in confidence. If you need more urgent support, please call 111 or attend your local accident and emergency department.
We've come to the end of this episode, but as always, we are going to share another amazing track from another hugely talented Key Changes artist who we mentioned earlier, Tara Tellboy, with the track Brother. This is available on Spotify and all other digital platforms. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you very soon. Bye!
I love my brother, I love my baba, I love my brother. Same mother but different father. But your father was like my father, and my father was like your father. I love my brother, I love my baba, I love my brother. You won the million, brother. With all my heart, I love you, brother. A letter to my brother, a song to my brother. I love you, brother. Brother, you was off the rails as a youngster, but you turned your life around, become a plumber. And you've always looked after our mother. I love the last thing mum said to me was look after your younger brother. But you don't need looking after, cause you're a geezer, so keep grafting, get the paper. Stack for the rainy day, stack for the later. Stack for the rainy day, stack for the future. You got a lovely baby mother, a lovely son and a lovely daughter. Now you're a father, you gotta look after Marianne, you gotta look after Spencer. You gotta be stronger now more than ever. I wish nothing but the best for you. I hope you got a bright future. I love my brother, I love my baba, I love my brother. A letter to my brother, a song to my brother. I love my brother, I love my baba, I love my brother. Same mother but different father. But your father was like my father, and my father was like your father. I love my brother, I love my baba, I love my brother. You won the million, brother. With all my heart, I love you, brother. A letter to my brother, a song to my brother. Brother, we shared a room when we was younger. We had the Nintendo, we had the Sega. I would babysit you, our mum would go to the boozer. She'd lend us a video at a Blockbuster. You'd fall asleep halfway through the film. I'll pick you up, carry you, tuck you in bed and you as a heavy fucker. Now sleep well, brother. Now call that real talk, brother. I know I've lost our mother, I know I lost our father, but we've still got each other. You got family all over. You got Sue, you got Tony, you got Billy, you got Ross, you got Teresa, you got Emma, you got Laura, and they all love you. I wish nothing but the best for you. I hope you got a bright future. I love my brother, I love my baba, I love my brother. A letter to my brother, a song to my brother.
Yeah.